Hey, what's going on, everybody? For Rip the Lip, I'm Ron Thoman. This is Kyle Hervey, and you're watching Over the Cushion, powered by MCM Contracting, serving the Lehigh Valley for 33 years, owned and operated by Mark Daniels. This show is all about dirt track racing, covering some news, current events, talking to different drivers every single week. Huge thanks to our other sponsors, Bodie Marks Racing, The Shop Automotive Detailing, or theshopdetails.com, Smith Fabrication, Stage 1 Modifieds, DH Graphics, ProTech Roofing, Nate Freed Racing. If you would like to be a part of the show and have your logo here on the screen, just reach out to me Facebook Messenger or on riptheliptv@gmail.com. We're usually live here every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube, so you can catch these replays back there. Today is a little bit different. We are pre-recording this so that we can enjoy the Super Bowl and, enjoy everybody's company. So this is going to be a pre-recorded one, but we're really excited to talk to a really great driver here. So let me get into talking to Kyle real quick, and we'll just go over, some of the current events that are going on here. You got me, Kyle?
I got you, Ron. How are you?
What's going on, man? How was your week?
Lackluster.
Nothing happening. No racing. Getting ready. Or you're not going to Trenton, so you're not getting ready for that.
I am not, thankfully. I want.
I'm gonna try to make it down there. I really want to go. It's only like an hour from my house.
It's only hold on, let's punch this up. I don't know what that arena's called anymore. I don't know if it's still Cure Auto Insurance Arena or what. Let's
Yeah, you never know anymore with the main sponsors of those.
Insurance Arena.
It is like a rock's throw away from you.
It is on the other side of town now. So let's see here what the old Google is going to tell me.
Check and see if you can ride a bike there.
13 minutes.
In a car.
In a car.
You could ride a bike.
35 minutes by bicycle.
You could get a little workout in. Just saying. Get that cardio going.
Ron, I drive race cars for a reason. 35 minutes on a bicycle, it means I won't be walking for the rest of the week.
You will get halfway there and then turn around so you can put a motor on it.
That would
How can we make this faster?
I will take my electric bicycle. How's that?
Ooh, be zooming, dude. Can you make it all the way there and back on a full charge?
Absolutely.
I love it.
I'd be more worried about it blowing up again. I got it for World Finals a couple years ago, and I rode it around in the mud. I brought it home. I washed it, and everything died.
Well, that sounds like
I spent
what we might
6 months fixing it.
That sounds like what we might see with the electric slingshot. We don't know. We don't know. You drove in the mud,
Right.
Little pack like mud pack laps, and everything's getting crazy. So hopefully they have those things sealed up nice and tight.
Speaking of World Finals, the Spring World Finals
Have they
is going to be
confirmed it?
like March 10th, 11th, and 12th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be at Bridgeport. There is going to be a 20-lap race on the Roval Sunday night, and I only have one of those 3 days marked down on my calendar, Ron.
Let's go. Gosh, if I can plan it out, I might just make the trip down just for the Roval race.
So that is going to be potentially the first race of my season. My slingshot is still set up for indoors last year, sitting on a pallet jack in the back of my shop. I did not race it at all last year.
That's okay. That's okay.
I don't even know. I think I only ran one slingshot race last year. I ran for Randy. Oh, no, I ran the Roval, and then I ran for Randy.
Well, you got to defend your title, dude. With how bad you beat him last year, and everyone's just kind of in the dark.
I will.
Because everyone's asking questions about it now.
I'm hoping that Randy. I did give a couple people my setup, so there may be a couple lucky people. One of them may have been a previous guest on this podcast that would give me a run for my money if he gets his car dialed in.
Sounds like Brett Beaver to me.
I may have shared a little information with him, which not that he needed that much help to be fast, but Brett and I obviously are good friends and have raced for a long time, so information goes both ways sometimes.
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back to the Roval.
I think you can repeat for sure. I think you probably be like, I'm a back-to-back. I don't really need to come back for that.
I was going to say, years ago, I think it was at a Pocono road course race, Randy raced in one of the S&S cars, and he showed up wearing a wig so that he looked like Boris said. And I'm hoping Randy Boris said Smith comes out of retirement and tries to kick my ass at the Roval because I have never had the pleasure.
Do you think he'll get back in a car? When's the last time he's been in a car?
I don't know, but I know he wanted to run the Roval last year and did not. And after I won that, he told me I'm gonna try and stop that
Let's
from
talk.
happening again.
Let's
So
talk, buddy.
I'm hoping Randy comes out of retirement to put me in my place.
Just be like, hey, I'll help you work on it. You drive the 5, Randy drives the 55. Then you don't
Yeah,
even have to
right.
bring your car out. Try to strike a deal with Randy. Maybe you
I'm
provide the
already
setups and then work on the cars, and then he'll let you drive one.
No, Randy definitely doesn't need any help. So
I know he
I
knows
was
way too much about these cars.
I was going through the setup sheets again, and I'm trying to figure out, how to make the car a little bit faster, what I can improve on from last year, and even if we won, there's still room for improvement. So hoping to go a
Exactly.
little bit quicker than we did.
Yes, sir. As far as racing news, everyone's down in Volusia for the most part. Everyone's down in Florida. I mean, they
I
got
think
rained out.
600 Speed Week just happened. Yeah.
Yep. I think Days and was it Pursley, right? His last name's Pursley. I don't really.
Yes.
I don't remember his
Dyson.
first name. He won. I think Colin White got to second, like a pink
Really?
car. He just like
Yeah,
drove down
he's
there and
running
drove somewhere.
somebody's hyper down there. Yep. He's been
Don't
running
even
that car
matter.
the last couple of
He's
years.
just good. He just got to that point now.
Yeah, it's a good car too.
What else is going on? They have Travis Pastrana won one of those UMP modifieds. You ever see those?
UMP. I did not see that. I have seen them. I did
Oh,
not
he
see that he
smoked
won.
him, dude.
Really?
He got in the lead. He just like took off. I mean, he's got all that rally car experience and stuff, and
So he's really going for the full Speed Weeks experience down there with the lead up to the 500, I guess.
he needs to get in a big block and see if he can keep up with the modified boys, because those other ones are like they're so weird and small, but he's got Black Rifle Coffee backing him and stuff, so like
That's very cool.
obviously the car is gonna be spot on, I would assume, whoever crew he brought with him, but yeah, he wheeled that sucker, man. I mean, he's got the rally car experience, so I mean, how different could it be, right? Just ripping it in there.
No, he'll definitely. He's fun to watch.
Short Track Super Series is down there. I think Stuart Friesen won Thursday. What's today? Friday?
Yep.
Stuart Friesen won on Wednesday and blew his motor up coming to the checker.
By the way, everyone, we're pre-recording this podcast.
I already told him that. I already told him.
I didn't hear the intro because it wasn't live, so I couldn't listen to it.
Yeah, so Friesen wins, blows up his motor. David Schilling gets his first Short Track Super Series win. Matt Shepard comes in second twice, and then they got rained out tonight, which is technically it's Friday. So, so that's all. I'm pretty sure they're going to get rained out tomorrow too. So that kind of sucks, but what are you going to do?
Florida weather.
I think that's the only thing, and then Trenton coming up, but we'll cover that. Hopefully I can go so I can get some footage. I've been practicing with the drone. It's really strange because it goes a lot faster when you're not. There's like modes on, right? So like cinematic mode, it goes slower. It's trying to be super smooth, cinematic shots. And then when you turn it to the it's called FPV mode or something, then it turns off all the sensors and you can just like haul. So like I'm trying to like see how close you can get it to the ground and like fly it around and stuff. So like it goes pretty good, man. It goes pretty good. I just got to be careful, like really careful. I'm probably gonna just try to fly it while I'm standing up on the tower. Yep. Hopefully, just so I can like keep an eye on it. Hopefully, I don't know. All I know is I'm gonna go practice with it at some point when the weather breaks. So, fingers crossed.
Definitely, it'll be fun to see.
So I think if you want to do the intro again for your buddy here, I think you've raced with him for a while, right?
I haven't raced with him other than in go-karts, but another modified driver this week. This one hailing from Grandview Speedway, third generation driver. Another gentleman that I get to call one of my good friends. We have Brett Gilmore here with us tonight. Brett, how are you?
Brett Gilmore, nice to meet you.
How's it going, man?
It's going. It's been a week. We'll keep it at that. It's been a week.
Brett Gilmore, freshly washed hands.
Ready to go.
Can't do a podcast with dirty hands.
What are you, a mechanic
I
or something?
Looked down. No, I actually work in the HVAC field, and we did a job today that was just rough. It was just a long day, and I got home, ate my Chipotle, looked down at my hands when I got on here, and I was like, my hands are disgusting.
Just like Is it like insulation?
So
Like, are you eating insulation with your Chipotle? A little spice on there?
that's that extra zest. No, I
Yeah.
had that yesterday. Today was concrete, so you know how it is.
Jeez.
We
Sounds like you're
can't
doing
have
more than
all the-
HVAC.
We can't have all the listeners hearing your dirty hands during the interview.
True.
Yeah, that
That would just be unfortunate.
as I rub my hands together, sandpaper against.
Very nice.
So,
So,
Rip the
Brett.
Lip now producing ASMR.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
God.
I
Oh,
can get one. Don't worry.
it's just us going.
We could just make the old man sounds as we get up.
Yeah, dad noises and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. So Brett, where did this all start? Like, I know Kyle was saying you're a third generation driver, so I'm sure it's been in the family for quite a while. And did you start off in any big cars, or did you kind of start off small and go-karts?
So yeah, like you said, third generation. My grandfather started in '63. Charlie Gilmore, all over the East Coast. He went his entire career, and then my dad started in '86, and he did all dirt racing in the area. My grandfather went go-karts, asphalt, dirt. I mean, he did everything. He was all for it. Everything he could race, everything he could get in, he would race. And then my dad ran modifieds all up and down the East Coast for most of his career, and then kind of settled at Grandview towards the mid '90s. He kind of settled at Grandview and Diamond and Penn National. He kind of stayed in this area. And then I came about, and I started racing when I was 5. So I hate to say this, but I've been racing longer than some of the guys I race against. I've been racing for 23 years. It sounds
Kyle
so bad.
told me
Like I
that,
say it
and
out
I
loud.
was like, how old is this guy? What the heck?
I'm 28. I know it sounds bad to say it out loud, but I like messing with people. I'm like, yeah, I've been racing 23 years, longer than you've been alive. But
Yeah.
I started racing karts when I was 5 years old. I ran Orville Kart Club. I ran Marsh Creek. We did national events. We ran a track in Milford, Delaware. It was on the street, and that was probably one of the most fun things I've ever done. But I ran asphalt go-karts for 10 years. So that's where I started. And then when I was 16, we kind of built a modified, and we went through 3 motors in 6 or 7 races.
Holy-
So I kind of took a break. And then,
What?
I mean, I got in a car every year and raced. But yeah, that year, yeah, trust me, it was not
Yikes.
fun. We blew up. My dad had a 9-to-1 motor that was sitting for a long time. Not a long time, but sitting for a while. We got it cleaned and got it ready and put it in the car, and it was fast. It was a really good motor. And yep, we were practicing at Grandview one time. We rented the track, and going down the backstretch, it made pieces. It was junk. There was nothing left of that motor that we could have saved. It was bad.
Back it up.
And but yeah, then I've been running modifieds and sportsmen since 2014. Middle of 2014, I started racing full time.
Nice. So you got plenty of experience with these now. Do you primarily run modified or sportsmans?
Well, this year I got offered to run my own car in sportsman. Guy offered me money. He said, "Hey, I want my name up front." And I said, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to be up front or not." And he goes, "You're going to be up front." Okay, settle down. That's my first thing. Was like, settle down, relax.
Let's take it
I don't know.
Buddy.
I can't like I say that to people, like I try to be as humble as possible. I
Sure.
say I'm confident in my ability, but you can't, at Grandview especially, you can't go out and be like, I'm going to go to the front tonight. You can't say that because it's Grandview.
It's Grandview.
Like it's
There's
rough.
boilerplates going around the whole track. We
And I
cannot promise
promise you-
anything.
I promise you, the one thing I can promise is the boilerplates don't move. I've hit them countless times, and they still hurt to this day. They don't move.
No, never.
But I'm running sportsman this year. I ran modified the past 5 years. I ran modifieds, and it's fun. It's just very expensive, and racing against guys who spend 40 grand on their engine, and you buy a brand new Bicknell every year. It's hard to compete, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun in sportsman year. This year is all about fun, going out racing with my friends that I'm friends with in sportsman, and Adriana is my teammate this year. Adriana Delapani, she's my teammate this year,
Mhm.
so
Yep.
we'll have fun and be able to race with each other. So we'll see.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
just going to have fun, man. That's all I want to do anymore. Is have fun.
Well,
It sounds stupid. I'm 28, but I want to have fun.
Hey, that's what I mean. At the core of it, that's what it's all about. You get in a race because
Mhm.
it's fun and you enjoy the competitiveness, I guess, a little bit.
Sure,
If you have
yeah,
one more
sometimes.
car, you'll have the 777. That's pretty good luck.
We have my car. We
Mhm.
have Adriana's car that my dad's building, which it's his car, but she drives it.
Yep.
And then we have the vintage car, And then we had a car that we sold a couple years ago. Yeah, we had a bunch of cars. Now we're good. We're down to 2 current cars in my dad's vintage car. It's a 1996 Olson that he races in vintage classes.
That's
He
crazy.
he does pretty good. That
That's
thing is
cool.
it is the car he ran in 1996.
That's so sick.
That's awesome.
Now, like Grandview, you guys have to run the sail panels on the Sportswing, right?
Yeah, sail panels.
So
And
why?
then
What's the?
you
I know what the point. I sort of know what the point of it is, but like, why? Why does Grandview do that when those are usually on modifieds?
honestly I don't have an answer for you, but what I heard years ago when they first brought Sportsman to Grandview was it's to know the difference between a Sportsman and a modified because the Sportsman have sail panels and the modifieds don't. I can tell you right now, the sail panels definitely make a difference on a Sportsman. If they were on modifieds, it wouldn't hurt them as much, but a Sportsman, you don't have the power to pull the sail panels. You do, but you got to be a little more precise. You can't make as many mistakes with a Sportsman with the sail panels because it does. It's like 2 big billboards and they tighten the car up. They really do.
Like, can you go? Is it like you can go faster into the turn than like say like a comparable racetrack that size without sail panels? Do you feel? Or
I
is
would
it
think so. I mean, I feel like you
hammer?
can go in deeper because you have that a little bit of extra rear, drag or downforce, whatever you want to call it, because you go into the turn and it brings the front end around. If you're not going in deep enough, you're going to lose the front end. I mean,
So you're
it
just
sounds.
really hammering. I mean, those things look like they're
Oh, yeah.
flying. Like,
I can send you a video after this and send you can hear the car go into the turn how deep I go in. I go in, I lift real quick and then I'm back on the floor to keep that thing from pushing. Because I mean, especially with the way the new suspension setups are, the cars are very tight. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, but we don't have to get into that unless you want to.
is that the was it left side panhard or something like that? That everyone's
Yeah.
using instead of torsions.
It's a left side panhard bar. You can run torsion on the left side panhard bar, but most people are going to coils now, and that's like that's what
That's the
people run
thing.
now. That's what I'm on. I mean, I think coils are great. That's just me though. Some people like torsion, but Von Dorn and Kressley are both on torsion at Grandview, and they are still beating everybody. So
Well,
I don't know.
Von Doren, could probably win on basically anything. I would assume at this point. Does he have like the most wins on at Big Diamond and Grandview or something?
Grandview and he's got the most wins around here. Yeah, for sure.
Freaking nuts. Dude is
But
really good.
I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I'm
No.
not. Von Dorn is a great driver. So is Strunk. So is Von Dorn. I mean, I'm sorry, Howard. Those are the big 3. Like you go to Diamond and Grandview, those are the
Those
big
are the
3.
names.
But I can't see anybody but Strunk getting in. Like I can't see. Strunk can get in just about anybody's car and go forward. Because I think he's the best driver. Like
He is very
in terms of
very good.
in raw talent, I think as a modified driver, because there's better drivers in other divisions, obviously. In raw talent and a modified, I think Jeff Strunk could get in just about anybody's car. He can get in my car, and we don't have anything good. I mean, I can go out in my shop right now and be like, wow, you're junk. No, not literally, but no, like I just think Jeff's a very good driver, and Von Dorn's a very good driver too. But he's always had very good equipment too.
Sure.
So you got to look at the equipment, but they're all 3 of them are good drivers. I can't take anything away from them, but
Yeah.
it's just that's how it is now. Unfortunately, it's all about it's cubic dollars. It's all about the money, and
Yeah,
I hate to sound like
kinda-
that, but it sucks.
It kind of turned into late models where it's like you need more money to be more fast.
Yeah.
Yes, and this left side panhard bar stuff is it's killing the Northeast modified scene because it's stomp and steer now. You just go in. My dad drove a brand new Bicknell. He practiced for a guy. He just wanted to make sure that everything was right in the car.
Yeah.
He took it to Grandview. He said he went to the turn. He said he just turned left and it dropped on the right front. He put it to the floor and he said it never like hesitated. He said it just stayed pinned on that right front and was just
Man.
fast. I was like, that's not racing anymore. That's
Yeah, right.
it's boring. It's
It's probably
boring.
like, with God, how long ago was it? When my uncle started, he was running those Gremlin bodies, and at Mockatech they allowed you to run the tires that the World of Outlaws run, the right rear, the big Hoosiers.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
he said, it was like the easiest thing he's ever driven because you just got all that rubber, and you're only like in a 358. So he's like, you just like, what are you doing, driving a go-kart or something? I don't know.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah, you didn't have the power to pull it, so you could just go in deep and it would just stick because the power would just bog down, and that big 110-inch right rear tire would just slow you down. Yep. Yeah, I know. And
Dang.
we still have some of those actually. My
Really?
grandfather
Oh, sick.
had a barn and we cleared it out and he had Hoosiers and Firestones and McCreary's and we have them at my dad's place. We have brand new McCreary's that haven't even been grooved yet with the lettering on them and the sticker. Oh yeah, it's great.
Dang.
We still have some old stuff. Yeah.
That's so sick. Like,
So you were.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was gonna say. I was gonna change the topic. If you have something you want to say.
Oh, I
about
was
that.
gonna ask how you said you ran modifieds for a couple of years at Grandview. How does it feel to race against some of those big name guys? Is it like a little scary since like the amount of races they've won and how accomplished they are? You know what I mean? Like you
Um,
compared to being in the stands.
I mean, I can give you two perfect examples.
Mhm.
I can get in the car on a weekly Saturday night and race with, Dwayne side by side, Jeff side by side, Craig side by side. And I don't have an issue with it because I've raced with them for a couple of years. At first, when I first started my full season of modifieds, yeah, it was a little intimidating. It's like these guys are really good. How am I going to stack up? But now I'm like, it's a normal thing. So I'm kind of like, it's normal now. But in 2019, I was a little confident. I bought a brand new Bicknell frame. We made a bunch of upgrades. We were like fully prepared to be a really good car in modifieds. We did upgrades to the motor. We got everything really, really, really well. And the car was just really good. We thought the car was really good. The shocks were good. Everything was good.
Mhm.
And we went into the first week and I had Billy Pouch Sr., I had Stuart Friesian, Matt Shepard, I had Ryan Watt, and I had Frank Cozy. 5 of some of the fastest guys on the East Coast were in my heat, and guess where they started? All around me. I had Friesian behind me and Matt Shepard next to me. That was the most humbling experience I've ever had because we had a brand new frame, and I'm like, these guys also have brand new stuff, so I should be able to, I might be able to keep up. I kept up for maybe till halfway, and those guys were just so fast. And that is the most, like I said, that's the most humbling experience ever because they are so fast and they're so consistent. It's like I don't even feel bad for not qualifying. I was like, I had those guys in my heat. I still have the picture on my Instagram actually of me racing with Shepard was next to me and Friesian was right behind me. It's like I can't. Not many people get to say that,
Yeah, well, yeah, not many. Or yeah, that's got to be crazy because I've been watching modifieds my whole life basically, and man, just being able to watch them. Like I think we went to Fulton the one year and I got to watch Brett Hearn run, and watching Shepard and all these guys run. It's like I couldn't even. I watched at Bloomsburg. Have you ever been to Bloomsburg?
I've watched on Flow. I've not been there.
So
I'm not far from there either. I should just go.
So the back straight wall, like that's where like they put the stands for like the pits or whatever. Like you can literally stand face to face with the fence and next to that like Jersey barrier basically. So like as they're coming
that's
out
dangerous.
of two, like there, it's one thing watching these big blocks on TV and you're like, yeah, they're going pretty good, right? Because you could barely hear them and stuff. But having them like, seeing them coming out of a turn, like completely counter steered and just like hammering, and then just being completely sideways down the whole straightaway, it seems like that I don't know, it may be humbling experience for me, but like seeing them up close like that is just like holy shit, like
yeah,
these guys are hauling. Like,
and they're 2,400 pound cars.
Yeah.
And they got 800 horsepower. It's like those things are cruising, and to be going that fast on these, excuse my language, shitty American racer tires, like, dude, those tires are bad. Like they're really bad. I'm glad we have these. Like, I'm glad we have the tires like weekly, but dude, they're those tires are scary. Because there was a picture, I forget, it was on Facebook a couple years ago. It was at the end of the straightaway, and it was a sprint car with American Racer right rear on it. And the thing was like just completely just deformed. I was like, oh god, that is so scary. And those big blocks, that's what they run. The Short Track Super Series runs the American Racers, which I'm fine with. I don't care. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I know the tires. I run them every week. And some weeks I look at the tires that go on my wheels and I'm like, whew, god, I am not thrilled to be running that one.
I think Doug Smith he told me like almost the exact same thing, because he doesn't want to run Hoosiers, but he doesn't like the American Racers. So it's like, what are you supposed to do if that's like the only thing that they run at a certain track? You can't really.
See, what we try to do is we try to buy the old stamp tires from like that have just, because when you get them, the durometer always shows they're not the right softness. So like
Yeah.
a 48 is one of the harder right rear tire, not hard, it's the softest right rear tire you can run at Grandview.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, it's like a 44 or a 42 because the compound itself didn't cure correctly. So what we try to do is we try to buy the old ones that have been sitting in the trailer for, whatever, 6 months, because then they cure because they've been sitting in the heat, they've been sitting in that dry area, and they cure a little bit.
Yeah.
Then it's a 48, and it's the right tire. Because I bought a left front, they're supposed to be a 33. The thing was a 22. Okay? That's not even a tire.
Whoa.
That's just bubble gum. It's bubble gum. It's not even a tire anymore. Like that's why I say they're bad tires, because they durometer, like they're so soft. Like I buy 44 right fronts, and that's a harder right front, but it comes out to like a 36. It's like it's never what it should be.
No.
Yeah, they're not. I shouldn't be talking about American Racer like that, but oh my god, dude, they're rough sometimes.
Well, the only way to get things to change is to, point out, you can't be just saying, oh, they're great, thumbs up. Then they won't.
Yeah.
Then nothing changes.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's funny because unlike the 600s, you have open tire choice between them, and I know some guys who run racers and just absolutely love them and think they're the best thing. I only have limited experience with them with the Speedster, and I thought they were weird tires. Their compound is super weird, and they're kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, they're not the easiest to deal with. I mean, I know the sizes almost never come up what you want them to come up on a right rear, and the right fronts are always a goofy size, and it's in the long run, I'm glad the tires are there, because if we were running Hoosiers, I wouldn't be racing because they're too expensive. But American Racers, they're cheaper. You're getting what you paid for. It's simple as that. I mean, you're not getting a Hoosier, you're getting an American Racer.
If you can get them, then yeah.
If you can get them.
If you can get them. It's like everyone gets one tire from the tire trailer. Are they still doing that? Like they're only...
They were doing it at the end of the year. Yeah, they were. They said everybody gets one tire, one rear tire and one front tire, and I was just cashing out. I was just getting 2 right away. I was like, I don't care. I'll just save them for next year. I got 6 brand new tires in my garage, just waiting to go on for this year.
Maybe you sell them if it gets the price goes up.
Yeah, $500 for a right rear. Yeah,
let's go.
Double my profits.
I love it. Kyle, what was the question you had?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So you were talking about how your grandfather raced everything under the sun, basically. Do you know how he got into racing?
Honestly, that would be a question for my dad. I just think he just was interested in it, and I think, well, actually, his cousin did it, and I don't know how his cousin got into it, but his cousin did it, and my grandfather kind of was like, oh, that looks interesting. I want to do that. So, and as you know, Kyle, my family number has always been 7. It's always been 7. It's been 7 or 77, because my cousin Kyle, he's the 77. That was my grandfather's other number. So his first ever number was 0 junior, because he started off with nothing, and he was a junior. He started out with nothing, no car, no nothing. So he just bought a car, and then he started doing stuff. And he was very smart. He was that old time smart. He was just high IQ. He was a machinist at Danacorp in Reading. So he was very smart, and he knew what he was doing. So he ended up building his own cars. Then he started building stuff and trying suspension stuff, and everything he did, he tried to build. He didn't want to buy anything because that cost him money. There was times he would make more money racing than he would at his job. So that's why he did it, because it was it was like a second income, like it was extra money. So he wanted to do it. And racing all over the East Coast. I mean, he ran Nazareth, Langhorne, he ran Orange County, Big Diamond, Grandview. He ran just about any track that's out of it's not around anymore. He ran there. He ran Dorney Park for years, and that was an asphalt oval that was a quarter of a mile. That thing was a small track, and there was no banking, and it was really small. And he ran there. He won 2 championships in a row there in the 60s. And then in the 70s, they went back. They got kicked out of Grandview for, I forget what it was, but they went back with a 70-something frame, 74 or 75 frame. No, I can't remember what year it was. Don't quote me on the year. But anyway, they went back to Grandview. Back to Dorney Park with a dirt modified, with a Falcon body, this yellow Falcon body with a red number, and they went there and they hurt their feelings because it's a dirt car on asphalt. That car shouldn't be fast. Yeah. And he went out for the consi the one night, and he borrowed his friend's tires. He said, "Hey, can I borrow rear tires?" Like, this is the first night here. He started in the back of his heat, didn't make the invert or whatever. Went out in the consi and took the lead, lapped everybody but the second car, and broke the track record. And my grandfather's buddy goes, "I'm gonna need those tires
I'm gonna
back.
need that
Like,
tire back, please.
let me give me those tires back. You're not allowed to do that." But when they went back, they got third, first, and second in that order, and I mean, with a dirt car on asphalt, it's a little weird. But yeah, I don't know exactly the story of how he got into it, but I know he started racing at Reading Fairgrounds, and because his cousin at the time was racing, so.
Yeah, no, that's really cool, and it's definitely cool to that all the places he raced and seem to know a lot about different cars that he raced and everything like that. And it's definitely got to be a cool feeling to have that racing history, backing you when you're at the track with having your grandfather there, and then your father obviously helping you out.
It's funny because like for the years, I'm talking not like 1 year, it was like 5-6 years. I was Charlie Gilmore's grandson. I wasn't Brett Gilmore. I was Charlie Gilmore's grandson. I wasn't, or Kenny Gilmore's kid. Like I wasn't anybody. And then I started racing, and then people were like, all right, now we know who this asshole is. All right, I'm sorry. I swore again. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, no, it's fine. I don't care. You can swear as much as you want, but
okay.
At least you don't have like the nickname like Pouch Jr. He's the kid's kid. Like, we asked him about that on the show that we did with him, and it's just like I personally think it's like not the best nickname, and it's like I would be annoyed with it. You know what I mean? Like.
And then his son is Billy the Third. It's the kid's kid.
The kid's kid. I mean, we'll just put that on a shirt and we'll keep going, man.
I think Billy said he was just going with BP3 on that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. BP3, that's a good one.
That is a good one. That. But yeah, the kid's kid. It's like it's just like so unoriginal because it's like his dad was Billy the Kid, which is super cool, right? But then like they're like, well, he's just the kid's kid. It's like, yeah,
he's just the kid.
I'm my own person, man.
I like Pouch Jr. Super good guy. I always got along with him,
nice.
And super good guy.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Brett, do you have any fun nicknames other than Dave Langley here?
I was when go-karting for years. They called me Happy because my last name Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
they called me Happy.
Nice.
I don't really have any nicknames. I was trying to get one years ago when I started Sportsman, but it didn't work out. I can't remember what it was. I remember it was something stupid. Now I just don't. You can call me whatever you want. I'll pretty much answer.
Yeah, that's how I am too. People call me like Rob
sounds bad,
or like whatever, and I just respond like it's my name. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yep. Just hey, how's it going?
Yep. I've had someone call me Rob at my job for like almost a year at one point.
I get Tyler a lot.
Tyler.
I have a lot of
like
people who
Tyler.
think,
What the hell?
Like a Tyler.
I think a lot of people come in and think my name's Tyler, and I'm just like, yeah, no. There's no polite way to correct somebody when they've gotten your name wrong.
Let me get it that bad.
Just be like, no, my name is Ricardo. Like, just something ridiculous. Just
you got the mustache now, man. You could really pull it off.
Yeah, you can pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually like, as soon as Atlantic City ended, the beard just reappeared. It's kind of weird.
Bro, this is gonna sound stupid. I just trimmed my beard, and I'm so happy it's gone. Like I was getting violent, dude. Like I don't know why. Like I had a full beard. I was like I was so mad about it, and I don't know why. And I trimmed it the other day. I was like, thank Christ, because I look like a homeless person.
Oh my God,
that's how
hilarious.
I was probably 2 weeks ago. I let it go way too long. The wife didn't really like it, and I don't know.
I can only imagine.
Married man. He's a married man. How old are you?
Right?
I am 34 with 3 kids, 5.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Never mind. I'm sorry. I got aggressive.
I'm a quote unquote grown up.
Now I'm the young one on this episode.
He's an adult male. Yeah. I'm just an adult. He's an adult male.
Oh, I got responsibilities, man. I gotta be.
I understand that. I have a house and a dog and all that stuff. I get it. I totally understand.
I got really high rent.
Shut up, Kyle. Nobody asked you, Kyle.
Oh, I wish I wasn't renting right now. This sucks.
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
I'm renting from my dad, so
we're so off the rails right now. Ron, ask something to reel it in. Take it away.
It went from beard to houses to rent.
What's your favorite racetrack food? Go.
Racetrack food. Well, I went to Williams Grove for the first time ever, like 2 years ago, and I thought their pizza was really good. If I had to take a good dabble in it, I would probably either take a sausage sandwich from Big Diamond. I don't think they have them anymore, but when they did, they were really, really good. Or the dust dirty cheese fries from Grandview's Pits. Those are the
Yep.
best. I, yep. You take one bite, and you can feel.
I don't think I've ever
You're like,
been
oh,
to
yep,
Grandview.
yep.
I need to make my way there
You're not
because I've
You've
you're
never
not
been to
really
Grandview?
never been there.
missing much.
I don't think I've ever
th-
been
I
there.
I was gonna go the opposite way, but I've also only showed up for big shows with the midgets. I think it is one of my favorite tracks to watch a midget rip around. It's a
Oh,
very cool experience
absolutely.
to be there.
It's got a lot of history. Grandview has a ton of history. If
Oh
you
yeah.
really look into it, the history of Grandview is really, really good. But ever since, again, I'm going to go back to the left side panhard bar thing. Ever since the left side panhard bar, their racing hasn't been as good, and the track gets torn up, and it's just not it's
Yeah.
not the same. But a midget race at Grandview, phenomenal. One of the best shows you'll ever watch.
Yeah,
410s at Grandview, phenomenal.
it's
It's
awesome.
it's a
It,
great show. It
it's
really is.
definitely something to see, Ron. If you're gonna go out,
I
definitely
definitely
go
like
for it.
watching.
I'd pick the midgets over the sprint cars, but
Really?
either is a great show, and it is wall to wall in the stands. There's
So
no
sick.
parking. It's pretty wild, except every
But
time I go, it pours rain for hours.
like I've
And
seen the
Speaking of that,
videos of the 410 sprint cars, like Kyle Larson and Ryan Smith and everybody. Like those guys
Yeah.
haul. But like
it's
I
bad.
guess my
It's a
question would
badass
be
place.
like why. So why do the modifieds tear up the track even more now? Is that just because all the weight is just heavily on the right rear?
A lot more grip.
you're getting so much side bite, it just peels the track up, and that's with the left side panhard bar. The left side panhard bar it's giving you so much drive and so much side bite, the car just digs in and peels up the track. It really does, and you can watch it happen in warm-ups. I sit on the infield and watch it happen, and
Jeez.
I don't get upset about it anymore
Sure.
because there's nothing you can do about it. It's evolution of racing. That's the next thing. But if you go back and watch old, Gary Silverman videos from 2006 and watch videos of those, that was some of the best racing. There was 6, 7 guys for the lead, and
Love
it wasn't always the same guys. So it was
Mhm.
just with the way the cars are now and how you have to drive. It's just hard on the track, and I hate to sound like that, like, oh, poor track. No, it's just hard
It
on
is
everything.
tough.
It's hard on the cars, the drivers, the track, everything. It's hard. Like there was a night when I got out of the car, it was like driving in a cornfield, and it wasn't the track's fault, it was the cars. I got out of the car and I was in like excruciating pain. I could barely breathe because I was just getting bounced around for 30 laps,
That
and
sucks.
I was just like. I looked at my dad. I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. He goes, I know. He goes, I was watching you do it. He goes, you were bouncing around. I was like, He was like, I'm in pain. I was like, I don't usually.
just
I'm
drove
not
know
in
the
pain that
feeling.
often.
It's like you just drove a slingshot around Grandview. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Now,
Or
like,
another
have
track.
you messed up any of the frames? That we talked to David Burns last week, and he
yeah.
was saying, like, with that change, that all the stress that's on these frames, especially with the big blocks, like Shepard and those guys in Prego. I mean, those guys have the left front off the ground almost the entire way around the track, like especially like Utica Rome or something like that. Like the stress that these setups put on these frames. Like he said, Prego I think broke a brand new Bicknell in like 6 or 7 races. Have you ever experienced any stress fractures on any of the welds or anything when you're running the modifieds?
I can tell you right now why they break frames and why they ruin frames. They run rubber floors. The rubber floor it's soft. It makes the car flex. It does not provide any support. It makes that car flex and dig in. Yes, it's good for the tracks up in New York where the tracks are dry and slick and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But for down here where the tracks are ruddy, like Diamond and Grandview, where they're heavy, and Bridgeport's the same way. It's just holes and it's ruddy and it's a rough track. In my opinion, you don't want that rubber floor. You want to have that sturdiness and a solidness of a frame. But I mean, I've bent clips and I've bent, you break things here and there,
Sure.
but I have never had a frame that went bad. I mean, the frame I have now is a 2015, and it's Craig Von Dorn's frame from Big Diamond. I mean, it's Dave Dissinger's frame, but it's
Sure.
Von Dorn ran it for years up at Diamond. But it's got a solid floor. It's got bars in it. It's got, I'm on coils, but it has the bars available. But I've never destroyed a frame. I mean, I have my first frame up at my dad's house, and it's bent. I mean, it's bent pretty good, but it's all solid. I mean, there's no rubber floor, there's no bushings, there's no anything like that. And I think, the reason why these guys wreck stuff is because of that rubber stuff. Like, seriously, think about it. You're taking all that stress. You're taking a 2,400-pound car going into a turn at whatever mile an hour, 90 mile an hour, say, at like somewhere like Diamond, down the backstretch, and you're twisting that frame. You're forcing that car to twist, and yes, it's gonna mess things up. I mean, I looked at frames before that guys threw away, and they're junk, they're twisted. It's like, yeah, look, you got a piece of rubber in the center. It's got to do that. Like,
what the whole
I don't know what you're
plan?
thinking.
Was it the whole like floor where your feet are? Is that all just?
Yeah, it's right
big,
below you. There's
like
a
hard rubber.
The pick arms. It's little brackets that go on like a, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just bars that go to the pick arm slider. The pick arms go up and they pull on that. So when it pulls on that floor, it's all rubber, so it just twists. I mean, it just the right side frame rail and the left side frame rail will go at a different angle because it's twisting, and because of that rubber floor, there's no support. It just twists, and it creates that tension, and it doesn't let anything else flex. It's the whole. That floor is the weak point. There's only one weak point, and it's that floor. So the rest of the frame is just the welds can only hold so much.
And that's just like they're trying to. I mean, obviously they're going to try to get everything possible out of a car to go as fast as possible. But like where do we draw the line with these?
Well, okay, so back in the day,
mm-hmm.
in the 80s, my dad ran. It was a 321. That was the cubic inch rule, a 321 cubic inch. These guys were spending upwards, back in the 80s, they were spending $25,000. And in the 80s, that was unheard of. That was like a $50,000 engine. So they made a rule. They said it must be a 9-to-1 compression engine. And you could build one for less than $5,000. Easy, like all day long.
Yeah, they run
without like
big
any
diamonds still, don't they?
Some guys do. Some guys do, yeah. But my whole thing is, when, like you said, when is it going to stop? So this is just my thing, and I've talked to multiple guys. I've talked to Dwayne Howard. I've talked to Brett Kressley. I've talked to these guys who've had this experience and have seen how things are evolving. Even Jeff Strunk said it too. He goes, the racing's not the same. And my whole thing is, if you take us off the left side panhard bar and you put us back on the right side panhard bar, people are still, guys who are winning now are still going to win.
Sure.
It's as simple as that, because they're fast. They have the money. They have the capabilities. They have the talent. But you take us back to 9-to-1 engines and you put us on right side panhard bars, you're going to see different winners. You're going to see better racing. You're going to see more equal racing. You're going to see guys come back who quit because they can't afford it, because they can't afford a $40,000 Kevlar engine, and get in back in, because it's what it is. I mean, it's cubic dollars. Like I said earlier, my dad says that all the time. That's his phrase. It's cubic dollars. It's just gotten to the point where it's so expensive, and everything is. Like when Timmy Buckwalter drove my car, when he blew up his motor in the heat, I went right down to him. I said, Timmy, if you need a car, it's yours. You're in points. I'm not. I'm just here to have fun. So I let him borrow my car.
Yeah.
He went out in the consi. He qualified, went out in the feature. He comes in from the feature. He ended up 11th. He started dead last, and he ended up 11th. Don't get me wrong. Things went his way. He avoided wrecks. He did a really, really good job.
Sure.
He comes in, he goes, I need to know something. I said, what's up? He goes, why does your motor have more power than my Morrison motor? I said, I don't know.
I don't know.
I looked at him, I was like, I don't know, Timmy. I really don't know. He goes, and why is it that your Penske's feel better than my $4,000 dig shocks? I was like, I don't have an answer for you.
Just hit the
so
loud
we
pedal,
can't,
man.
it is, like, exactly. You just run the car. But my whole thing is, if we go back and you take that step back, like the guys who, like me, who are low budget, we take that step back and look at the cars, we're like, this is ridiculous. There's no reason for us to be doing this. The racing was better, 10, 15 years ago, and the cars were cheaper, and everything was just a little bit cheaper. Now, if we go back to that, I'm not saying I cannot guarantee it's going to be better, but I can sit here and say I will have more fun. I know a lot of these guys will have more fun, because it's more. This left side panhard bar took the driver out of it. You don't have to drive anymore. Half these guys that are, I'm not picking on these kids. The kids that come up from slingshots, the kids that come up from, have all this money and move up to a modified right away or a crate car, they drive it like they run really aggressive because they can, because they never had to drive on a right side panhard bar where you're out there going trying to get the power down on that little patch on the bottom that's 3 feet wide, and you got to keep the car straight. And they never had to do that. They got right into a left side panhard bar, and they had that grip. They had that side bite and that drive off. They never had to struggle. And I hate to sound like that, but I challenge
You sound
anyone.
like the old man.
If
You're like, back in my day.
back in my day, these places were all fields. Yeah, I know. I get it. No, well, I say that now. It's funny. You know how now people they buy out the buildings and they knock the building. Back in my day, these were all buildings. That's what I say now.
Yeah.
But I challenge any kid who is running a crate car right now. Go on a right side panhard bar. Do it. Seriously. I challenge you. Go on a right side panhard bar. Go out and qualify. Seriously. If some kid listens to this who thinks, oh, I can do that, do it. Do it. I want to see you do it, please.
I mean, they had that
Because I'm gonna do it.
up in Vermont. They had a 200 lapper, and Kenny Tremont won it with a right side panel. He's the only one in the field with one, and he won a 200 lap race with it.
That's Kenny Tremont. That's different.
Sorry, Kenny Tremont. That's what I meant.
He's different. He doesn't count. That's a different man.
He's a different human being.
That's an adult male. Okay, we're going back to that.
Male.
That is an adult male. But I said to my dad this year, I said, you know, I might do it. If we designed our own suspension, not really suspension, we designed our own stuff this year.
Sure.
For the frame, and we made some changes, and we're trying it. If it doesn't work, I told him, you know, or it does work, in theory, what we built is going to give the car so much drive, I'm not going to be able to turn the car. So, in turn, I'm going to have to go back. I feel like I'm going to have to go back to a right side panhard bar so I can turn the car, because it's going to have so much drive off and it's going to be so aggressive going straight. I'm not going to be able to turn. And with a right side panhard bar, you can turn no problem. You can turn the car all day long because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
A left side panhard bar does not allow you to turn. You lift, that thing's going straight. I mean, now it's better. The shocks are a little better, but it when it first came out, I mean, I watched Ryan Watt bounce around Grandview on the top the one night. I'm like, what is this man on? And he was fast. I was like, now I know what it is. I mean, you know, the years progressed, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it just reminds me of how street stocks are almost like a dying division, because they've kind of suffered the same fate where everything kept progressing and they changed the rules to let more and more stuff in, and now you got these crazy motors on these quote unquote pretty bare frames, or depending on the rule set, right? But like, I mean, after a while, like, you know, you only get 2, 3, maybe 5 cars show up or something like that, because it's just too expensive to run a street stock. And then I see the similarities between them and modified.
Yeah, it's the street stocks now that you watch on Flow aren't street stocks. They're just late models with street stock bodies.
Yeah, they're the pro stocks or whatever.
This guy's got the things left rear hiked up, left front in the air. It's like, what the? That's not a freaking. You're lying. You're a liar, and you're lying.
Like, if you want some really good racing, that like the pure stocks in the Midwest, that is some. I mean, I've always been a fan of pure stocks, but like those guys are running like side by side for 20 laps straight, like 3 wide, like up on the top, down on the bottom, like just having a class that's, you know, very rules heavy and keeping everything in line as far as everyone has pretty much the same car. I know they try to do that with the crate motors, but now they're like,
oh, don't
they're not crates. They're crate.
God.
I'm putting up my quotation or my whatever.
Yep.
You know, they're crate cars. They're not really crates if you tear them apart and you know, spec them out to.
I will give you my.
If you blueprint them, and
honest
not
opinion.
Crate.
Honest opinion on crate motors. I'm going to give it a real quick one because I get heated, my blood pressure goes up, and I get mad. I'm serious. Crate engines make me angry. Crate engines are a great idea. They are a phenomenal idea. It makes everybody have the same power, the same torque, and they get in the same cars and they go around and around. That makes sense. Now you get these guys building motors that are, you know, freaking. They're engine builders now. It's not a crate motor anymore. It's an open sports. Yeah. They're open sportsman. Stop calling it a crate. Call it an open sportsman.
100% agree. They get the blueprint from GM and they're like, here, machine all these parts to the perfect, exactly what they're supposed to be, and now we have 20 more horsepower than you. And
I can buy the seals
freaking
from
seals online.
Yeah, so weird. I like you. You're a good guy. I like you. Almost like we know what we're talking about. Back in my day, these were all buildings. Anyway.
Just go to Open Sportsman. That was a better class back in the day. It was a modified motor with a 2-barrel carb. That's it.
Oh my God, dude! Where did you come from, Kyle? Why was I not on here sooner? What the hell? This man is he's just said everything I'm thinking.
When my uncle ran in Makatech, he would, the one night he ran the Sportsman division with a 2-barrel carb. Then they switched to a 4-barrel carb and ran the modified feature. He won the Sportsman and got second in the modified feature. Like,
Yeah, because
being
you
able
could
to do
that. That was
right?
the thing.
That's the way to do
And
it.
here's the thing about an open Sportsman motor. I get my motors done by Morgantini. And Morgantini builds guys asphalt motors, and it's the same thing. 2-barrel carburetors on a 358. These guys spend upwards of $30,000 on a Sportsman engine to run asphalt modifieds. And guess what? They slap that 2-barrel on. It doesn't exceed 515 horsepower.
Yep.
It cannot go over unless you're cheating the carburetor. You can't go over that. It will not. It will not. You're not getting enough air and fuel. So why would we go to crate engines that you can cheat up? You can make them fast. You can get whatever horsepower on them, because I know these guys are cheating them. They act like they're not, and they're oh, I'm not cheating. Yes, you are. Shut up. I'm.
And they're not going to tear them down because they don't want to break the seals.
Oh, I don't want to break the seals. Break the seals. I guarantee you, half of the field of crate cars at Grandview is illegal.
Puff
I can
those
guarantee
motors
you
and see what happens. Puff them.
They never will, because they don't.
Never will.
And I don't want to sound. I don't want to sound like a guy, but they don't want to. They don't want to get rid of the cars, because they don't want these guys to be like, well, I'm not coming back then.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
exactly.
then don't come back. Like, I don't care. Like, I hate to sound like that, but it's gotten to that point where we need to do. Someone needs to step up. And, Grandview's brought in Rush this year, which is great. I think it's a great idea, but Rush needs to stick to it. They need to make sure these guys are legal, because I'm telling you right now, I got beat by 2 crate motors at the 38er this year, and I was livid. I sat in that victory lane doing my interview, and I said, I made mistakes, and I looked at those guys standing in victory lane, both crate guys. I won't say who they are. I looked at them, and I said, those are some really fast crate motors, and I'm telling you, and I guess maybe I'm just behind the times. Maybe I'm just like an old guy, like you said. But it doesn't make any sense to me that my open Sportsman motor that has 500 horsepower from Morgantini, and it's a good motor. Good motor, good car. I'm getting to the power. I'm getting to the power to the track, and I'm fast. I'm a decent driver, so I expect to be able to compete. Getting beat by a 380 horsepower crate car that drove by me on the top like I was sitting still? Incorrect.
Yeah,
that is not a thing.
They're left up the front left in a crate car.
Yeah,
right.
And they sound like a modified. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm the queen of France. Yeah, all right, yeah, sure.
Maybe this is just our tinfoil hat moment, but I think there needs to be a change. Like, well, they did that up in up in New York. They changed what motors you can have or something. It has to be the GM seals or something. I forget where it was. It was Albany, Saratoga, and somewhere else.
Just do it. Just stop fiddle dicking around, and let's make them legal. Seriously, I don't understand.
It's such a good class, and it just it got out of hand. Just like, I mean, that's racing though, right? Because you have a class, and then everyone's gonna push it to the brink basically until the division dies. But everyone's always looking for that edge.
Yamaha created that series where they built the frames and they built the motors, and if you cheat them up, you can never race again. You can never race that division again. Let's get GM to back these crate motors that if someone cheats, they can't race a crate car again.
Never. They're selling too many crate cars with the what is it? The Sportsmen do it. The asphalt guys do it. They even have sprint cars that run the crates. They have those pro stocks that they had at Dirt Week. Those are all running crate motors.
I'm sick of it. I'm selling my car.
GM is making so much money on these crate motors. They're like, nope, we're just gonna keep pumping them out, baby. Keep those dollar signs going. It's a great motor, and it's a great idea for the classes to keep it together, but it has to be regulated so much better.
So much potential to be very good, and it could have such good impact on Northeast modified racing, but they don't police it. Just please, for the love of God, police it.
Oh my gosh, we're definitely on the same page. Kyle, I don't know if you're still with us. If you kind of walked away.
He's like, I went to the bathroom. I'm back.
I was waiting for my popcorn to finish.
We're gonna have to have you back on when we talk about this more.
Oh my god.
All right, I need it. Give me a really good question. Give me something that I have to think on. Come on.
Well, Kyle, we got 10 minutes
left. I was thinking of it for the last couple minutes, and I was gonna ask you. Over the summer, obviously, there was the possibility that Grandview wasn't going to be coming back, and that it was going to be a parking lot. What were your plans going to be if Grandview went away and you didn't have that to run as your home track?
Well, honestly, I was going to hang it up. As bad as that sounds, I was either gonna hang it up or just run a couple races at like Bridgeport or Diamond. Like I was planning on just calling it because
Yeah.
it's gotten expensive and I exhausted all of my funds. I cashed out my 401ks like I to keep racing, and that's how passionate I am about it. I cashed out my 401ks. I did everything I could. I sold things I didn't need to sell that or I shouldn't have sold, and I made it work because I want to keep racing. And Grandview is my home track, and I love that track. Sure, I complain about it because I wish they would do things differently, but it's my home track, and I do thoroughly enjoy it. But I was gonna hang it up. I was gonna call it and just maybe race something else, maybe race Kutztown or something here and there, get a speedster and just mess around. I wasn't I when I lost my grandfather, and I'm not trying to get emotional on you here, but when I lost my grandfather, things changed for me, and I wasn't into it anymore. Like 2020 was a rough year. I 2020 was going to be my last year. I was going to call it quits. I was like, this is it. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And then 21 came around. My dad let me run one of his cars, and I started racing. I had more fun. But yeah, it hasn't been fun since my grandfather left. And, you know, it's rough. It is. And, you know, being that tight knit of a family with my cousin racing and my dad racing and me, it's tough. And you know, like I said, with Grandview closing, it was a lot of. It was. I said to my dad, I said, I don't know if I'm going to race. I said, I don't have anywhere to go. Like I don't really care to drive the Diamond. I don't mind Grand Diamond as a track, but it was just like, I was like, I'm good. I hate to sound like that, but I'm good. Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but I knew it wasn't gonna close anyways. I'm one of those guys like, come on, you really gonna think a scrap yard's gonna go on that hill?
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully see them
right.
for a long time. I'd love to come. I know I'm at Hamlin every single weekend. I don't know if you've been to Hamlin Speedway, but I'm about 2 miles from that track, so that's kind of my main deal.
Well, if you ever come to Grandview and I'm racing, you let me know. You shoot me a message. I'll get you in the pits. You can stand on top of the trailer. You too, Kyle. If you guys want to come in the pits, you hang out with
yes,
us.
sir.
Yeah, man.
We will
Definitely.
We're fun. We may not look the best.
I will
We
definitely.
may not be the best. We have fun though.
Good, because that's what it's all about. And
It is.
Hamlin
We
has
do
2
have a lot
weeks off. I think they have a week off in June and August, so I'll definitely try to see because they run on Saturdays too. So definitely want to try to get down there because I never get to see the sportsman there because I think was it Dirt Track Digest. They never post videos on the sportsman like ever. So,
no, they don't. Well, if you go on, and Kyle has him on his car, Brandon Kroll, you can watch the in cars of us race, and that's there's some sportsman videos in there. I can pull the date up on if you want to see a really good one of me racing.
Discord, yeah, so I get to see some of those.
Oh, okay, cool. If you really want to see a good one, go to the 38er in 2021. I was driving my dad's car. Just watch that video. If you really want to see some passing and some aggressive moves. I mean, I wasn't nice about it, some of them. I was aggressive.
Hey, you're trying to win.
I
No room for being
I
nice.
started 25th, and I was up to 14th in 12 laps. I was following Kevin Herthler through, and then I got in a wreck, ripped the right rear of the car off. The tire was flat, radius rod was off. We got the car fixed in time, got back out. I restarted 21st, and I ended up 4th.
Whew.
So we were in a hurry, and with 14 laps in already, I was like, I'm like out of time. I gotta go now, like now.
Oh
But yeah,
my
it was
gosh.
my dad won the points championship in 2021 in Sportsman, and I ran that car. And when I took it out in warm-ups, I looked at him and I came in and I was like, no wonder you won the championship. He goes, why? I was like, this thing's ridiculous. It was so fast. That's the car
Jeez.
Adriana's driving, and the car just works. I mean, it just for some reason the car is just, and it's a 2011 frame. Like it's just the thing just works.
Just
We don't know
good.
what are we
It's just
doing.
good.
We just keep throwing stuff at it.
Hey, what else are you gonna do? So
That's
we're
like
winding
the
down here.
slingshots.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say that's like the slingshots. Different years just work way better because they bought the steel that year from a different place.
Has to be.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and that's the crazy part because Bicknell from 2004 to 2014, they didn't change anything. Everything was the same. The brackets, everything was identical. The steel was the same. I think they had the same supplier for 10 years. And after that, the frames were different. They didn't work the same. But in 2014, it was the last year for them. For some reason, my 15 frame works great though. I can't sit here and complain. So, but I don't know. But yeah, it's like, can we go back to the good stuff? Like, let's get good frames here. Come on. We're spending upwards of 10 grand on a blank frame. It's like, please, for the love of God, just
What
give
the
me
hell
something
is
good.
happening? So we're winding down here a little bit. Yeah, so we're winding down here a little bit. This is the part where we kind of just give you the floor if you want to shout out sponsors, people who've helped you, social media, anything you want to kind
Oh,
of plug, floor is yours.
plug.
Plug away.
It's not. My name's not Dave Langley. Obviously, I'm Brett Gilmore on Facebook and Instagram. It's Brett_Gilmore_7. I'm on TikTok. I don't really use it much, but I don't have a lot of sponsors, and that was my whole thing this year. Was I told my dad, I said I'm going to stop spending our own money and try to get sponsors. I have Weller Motorsports on the car this year. I have Highside Apparel. He's been helping me out. Timmy Buckwalter helps me out with my shocks. I have a bunch of people I could thank, but it's a long list and I don't want to be here all night, but I have a ton of people who helped me out this year so far, and they're helping me get my motor. Hoffman Speed Supply has helped me out a ton. Keith, Morgan, and Jim up there are, I don't care what you race, those people will help you out with anything. They're some of the best people in the business, and I'm glad I'm friends with them personally. Like I'm personal friends. I could go up there right now and Keith would be like, hey, can you help me out with something? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad I'm friends with them, but there's a lot of people in the sport that do stuff for me, and I appreciate that. My dad, can't thank my dad enough. Sponsors though, I don't have many. I mean, people don't. I hate to sound like that, but I don't have many. I wish I had more. I don't want to do it. I know I don't want to do it myself. Please help me.
Anyone watching, please help this man.
Please.
Race, please.
I'm fighting for my life out here. No, but I do, and anybody who comes up to me and says, hey, I'd like to buy you a tire. Oh my God, I appreciate that. Then I don't, it helps, and I've been trying to get sponsors all winter, and it's tough. It is. Nobody wants to really do something like that, but I'm not, I don't judge people for that. But I mean, I have fans that have given me money. Doug Manmiller's helping me out, and I race against him. Who else here? I'm looking at my list. Hold on.
I'm telling you, start that YouTube channel, get that YouTube money, Tanner Home style, man.
Yeah,
I thought about it. I really did. But I do. I have a ton of people helping me this year. And I did a post on Facebook for $100, get your name on a race car. People came right to that. They thought that was cool. And I'll gladly do that. If people want to give me $100, I'll gladly put their name on. I don't care. It's a cool thing to do because it's for the fans. And I can't thank, and I know we're trying to, I'm trying to thank people, but I can't thank the fans. I can't thank you guys enough for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been super fun. Might be
I'm trying to have fun.
Ever.
Trying. Oh, stop! Don't say that.
we got the talk about Sportsman Motors, so I'm good.
You're good. You're happy.
Got to vent my frustration.
The fans, I can't appreciate the fans enough. I mean, without the fans, and Kyle knows, we don't get to do what we do without the fans there. And the support of the fans is 100% why the sport is still going, because they show up every week. These diehard people that show up and support. Whether you like me or not, I appreciate you because they're good people. They're the people that sit in the stands, and I wave. I know people don't, like the drivers don't wave, but I wave. Every week, I put my hand out the right side of the car. I wave at everybody. I don't care
the
who.
Wave laps.
Whether,
I miss those.
I do that because I appreciate it. And it's just one of those things. It's I have fans in the stands. I have people who don't like me. I know it. I got booed before. I don't really care. But
that was just me.
It was just Kyle.
Okay, that's fine. 100% understand. But I wave at everybody, and if kids come back to the pits, sometimes I'll let them sit in the car, depending on the night. Like I don't want to have a kid get in a hot car. The kids are the next generation. They bring their parents, and their parents see that they want to be there, and I appreciate it. I can't appreciate it enough because I can't sit here how many times I appreciate it because it's a phenomenal thing that, the younger kids, and I see kids every week come up and they're like, hey, can I get a picture, or hey, can I get your autograph? I'm like, yes, absolutely. Like I don't consider myself like a big name guy, but like somebody said it to me one time. It was actually at Motorsports this year. Somebody said, "Is that the Brett Gilmore?" I turned around. I'm like, "Who the hell are you talking about?" Like I was like, "What do you mean?" And it was some little kid, and I was like, "Yeah, it is. I'm Brett Gilmore." And he goes, "Hey," and he said, I talked to him for like 10 minutes, just talking. Sick. I was like, he was a good kid. And I was like, I couldn't believe I heard that. The Brett Gilmore. All right, you better settle down. To get all wound up.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I definitely on the same page with you there with the appreciation for all the fans and everybody that supports us. And I've had similar things where, even being a small car driver, I've had really young kids when I travel with the slingshots to New York or something come up to me and they're like telling me they got into racing because they saw me run an indoor race and loved the zebra car or something years ago. And that's just it's awesome to hear. And always give the kids opportunities to, be around the cars and sit in the cars. One of my favorite things to do indoors is a couple years ago in the slingshot, I blew up 4 motors and I had a lot of pistons and connecting rods and stuff sitting around. So I bring a couple of those to some of the indoor races when I find them and autograph them and hand them out to little kids. And I love that stuff.
Yeah, and I try to do that every year. Like they have a meet and greet down at Grandview, and I try to bring a piece of the car or pictures or anything. I like this year I brought Hot Wheels. I collect Hot Wheels. I'm weird. I enjoy that because it's fun.
So
But
cool.
I collect Hot Wheels, and I brought a bag of them with like 25, and I just handed them out. I was like, I don't care. The kids need them. It's fun.
Yeah, they wanna play
But
with
yeah,
dirt.
I enjoy the next generation coming up because I was one of those kids, and I guess it's just me because of the way I am. I'm very personable, but I see some of these guys like turning kids away, and I'm like, I don't know why you do that. Like, I
Yeah,
was one
right.
of those kids once, and I see kids come up to me now. And I'm like, what's up? Like, this is cool. And like I said, I was one of those kids. I was walking up to Randy Stout when I was 10 years old, and I was like, you're my favorite late model driver. And like, I did,
Yeah.
just one of those kids, and I feel that now, and I get to feel it, and Kyle gets to feel it that happiness. It's a good feeling. It feels good. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, yeah, big appreciation to the fans. I know after starting this journey, uh, it's mainly the racing families that kind of gravitated toward it really quickly, just because I was starting to do interviews after like a year or two, like just filming the features. So that's kind of been my small little niche right now. But yeah, maybe next time that you're on, we can talk about this whole audience and the streaming side of it, because there seems to be very strong opinions on streaming and not streaming. So
I don't understand, and I real
neither
quick,
do
I don't
I. Trust
understand the
me.
whole. Why would people get upset about streaming, especially something like this where it's like, we're talking like this, and at the
Hmm.
track, it's like some people. And my grandfather has MS on my mom's side. He cannot go to the races.
Yeah.
He has not been able to. So I send my grandmother little links on like or not Instagram, YouTube, so they can watch the videos because
Yeah.
they like that. They like being able to see me race. So for people who can't go to the races, I don't understand why live is such a problem. Like the people, oh, you come to the track. Don't settle down.
Settle down.
Some people cannot.
Yeah, right.
Some people can't leave their house. Just
Yeah.
relax.
But on the other side of it, of people that just want to stay home and watch it, that's fine too. And you're getting all this exposure, and if it's what you do with the exposure, like to get people to
Yes.
come. If the racing's boring,
Yeah, absolutely.
they'll just they'll stay home. If the racing's exciting, they want to see it in person and experience it. That's cool too. But like you can utilize this exposure with the social media era now to like do
Yep.
way more stuff with it. It doesn't have to just be like this negative thing that all these boomers are just mad about.
I don't care. I tried to watch my dad race at Grandview the other year, and Flo didn't buy Grandview's modified package, so I didn't get to watch my dad at Grandview the other year, and I was a little upset about that
Yeah.
because it was just one of those things, and I don't care. Now I don't care, but it's like, I was at work. I was working second shift. I couldn't be there to watch my dad, so it's like something little that upsets me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel you. But hey, Brett, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with us. I know it's a little different since it's not live. Sometimes we get like comments and stuff toward the end, so unfortunately missed out on that. But hey, really appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us for a little bit.
I appreciate you having me on. I'm friends with Kyle, and it's great. It's great meeting you. If you want to have me on again before the season starts, I will not complain. I don't care. I don't be doing a whole lot, man. I come home from work, I play Xbox all night. So, but like I said, I appreciate that. It is. It's great. It's not great. It's nice, but
It's fantastic. It's not
I-
great.
it's the best thing ever. No, I'm waiting on race car parts. That's why I'm not in the garage. But no, I do appreciate you having me on, and I'm glad we got to talk about some stuff. And I appreciate being able to share my story a little bit and what I enjoy and what I don't like about stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you ever want to have me back on, I'm more than willing. I'll gladly talk about whatever. We can talk about horseshoes if you want. I don't care.
I'm sure we'll figure out, and I'm definitely gonna try to make it up to Grandview because just want to be able to meet some of the drivers that we talk to in person. I think that'd be more fun, and hang out and shoot the shit would be kind of cool. So really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. And next week we're gonna have a live show at 8 o'clock. And Kyle, who do we have next week?
One of Brett and my sponsors, TJ Mayberry, should be on next week.
Oh, no way. Nice.
Nice. Awesome. Well,
Looking
He's a
forward
good
to
guy.
talking to
I like him.
Absolutely, one of the best.
all right. Well, appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you next week.